Welcome to the podcast. It's me and Nicky, Ryan, here with a guest who has lots of things to say. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Right, okay. I'm late diagnosed, 63 male, and I was diagnosed probably about 6 weeks ago with ADHD combined, slightly autistic, but nothing drastic. And it has not been a surprise, but very emotional.
Can you describe what emotions that you went through when you got the official diagnosis?
Well, I've got 60 years of emotions of being different, all the way through, not understanding why, who I was, what was happening, and which I have found out from other podcasts, which I've seen, it is so typical. I was just saying to Lorna, who's behind me, that the word late diagnosed I find quite amusing. Well, as geriatrics, not late. There has to be some people who are approaching the 70s, nearly 70, and having all this. I'm late diagnosed. How old are you? 30. That's not late.
Yeah.
That's but obviously, seeing the diagnosis is really from the 2000s. From there, anyone before that really has had their life. Well, it's not easy. It hasn't been easy. So emotion-wise, beforehand, it has always been difficult. From the classic bullying at school, from a family that did not recognise I'm also dyslexic. There's so many letters after my name nowadays. That's the only good thing about having ADHD. I can actually put that at the end of my name now, so it's quite good.
Yeah, notoriety. You can now, when you book a table at a restaurant, you can put that in as a...
Well, yeah, so that's kind of coming right up to it. The reason I've done it is because I've seen there was one selling moment in December the 24th of last year. It really tipped me over the edge, literally over the edge. So January and February were extremely difficult, and everything kind of imploded for 60 years. All came crashing down, and there was questions asked. The obvious ones is, who am I? What am I? And once you go down that rabbit hole, you can't come back. As quite an influential person said, once you've seen that the word is empath, which I really quite like, you can't unsee it. And that's basically what's happened. Therefore, I decided in April that I was going to find out definitively this time what it was, because I've been labelled so often, which I now know is mislabelled. No one's fault, from family, GP, and everyone else.
What were some of the mislabels, Stuart? What were some of the things that they'd said?
Oh, migraine stomach, which is a classic one. And now, from the vagus nerve now coming down very much with ADHD, that is to have gastro problems is a classic one.
Yeah, it's part of it.
And it wasn't just that. I said the implosion was many things. I started off born with ADHD, dyslexia, and probably other stuff I've not really looked into, but that's beside the point. But due to my generation, being dyslexic, being different at school, you were sectioned out, literally sectioned out from that. There was also a whole pile of childhood trauma, which has taken a wee while and still processing it, from school, education, physical, verbal, and other abuse, which I've only really discovered, which is really quite weird. So that on top of, someone asked me about it, and I said, basically ADHD is a rolling stone. I can deal with a rolling stone, but it's the moss that it's gathered on the way down the hill, which has kind of disguised everything. And what it's taken in this cathartic January, February, March, was taking the moss off. And once I've done that, I can separate almost the two, the ADHD and the trauma from that. That I'm still trying processing. And it's not as simple as just that. And I'll try to keep it succinct. So I got my diagnosis, which I got 6 weeks ago. I opened up the letter, and from a lovely Dr. Emma Field of ADHD Scotland. Highly recommend her. I kind of looked at the report, and there was nothing. There was no reaction from me. It was telling me what I already knew, which is not different, because that's how I've always kind of anything people said I've achieved, it didn't feel like an achievement to me from that. And I've lost my place.
That's okay. That's perfectly ADHD too. We do that all the time, don't we, Ryan? Can I ask you a question, Ryan?
Yeah, of course you can. Go.
Like, you know, you said originally, sorry, I know there's a delay. You said originally about, like, you question, so I did this as well. You question who you are as a person. Who could I have been? What would my life have been like? But you're still the same person, aren't you? So
no.
So you think it absolutely changes how you feel about yourself? Or so were you masking before?
No,
and so you feel like dropping the mask and becoming authentic?
Today.
Right. Okay.
I know
to cope with the situation.
Just to cope with coming here.
Yeah.
I've the biggest thing I have is burnout. The stone and the moss I can cope with. The burnout, which I've had all my life, which I didn't realise, which people have changed to being lazy, and I won't go through all the names that you once called. It's the burnout which I'm in the middle of yet again, and I have been really for the majority of this year.
Mm-hmm.
It is very difficult, and the burnout is the hardest thing I'm finding to actually deal with rather than anything else.
So you feel like a different person from 6 weeks when you got the diabetes?
I'm more confident.
Is it authenticity? Do you think it's authenticity?
Don't know. I know my emotions are now surface. Right. I have no mask. Once I've dropped the mask, I can't put it back on again.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit, and it's wrong. It feels wrong. It just doesn't fit. And I find that my emotions have surfaced, which I've hidden for decades.
Yeah, it's totally relatable to me. I'm in trauma counselling, and it's exactly the same for me.
And it is very difficult. The watching something on television, one should feel emotion. That was the idea of the director doing it. I could feel myself mocking. And I now know why I was mocking and scoffing. And now that mask has dropped, it's not nice watching something which is supposed to make you feel emotional. And it does. That's a kind of a new concept and a difficult one. And I do find that my emotions now are so just subsurface. I find that quite, I don't know the right word, dangerous, I think is the word I would use at the present moment.
Do you think that's why you're not getting a diagnosis, Ryan? You can't let that... Because I'm stupid in that? No, you can't let that, like, unleash this, like, what it causes, that... Because I think people think if they get a diagnosis, they're either going to be cured or they're going to have different ways of dealing with it, or being recognised for it is going to help in some way. Maybe it doesn't always. Maybe it's sometimes counterproductive because you don't realise what you've got to go through that's really difficult to go through.
I think my story is different, and Stuart, obviously you won't know it, but basically for years they've been chasing different things, different diagnoses. So it was, I had a ruptured diverticular pouch in my intestine, so I was in hospital, and then which obviously is just a side effect of all of the ADHD symptoms, but and chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia and all these other different umbrella kind of diagnoses that they throw out to cover things they don't have a cure and don't have real diagnostic testing. So it's stuff that they seem to throw out at people. I have high cortisol levels, which obviously makes sense. And I've just kind of come to my own acceptance and with it. I was an autism practitioner. My son, we had to go through a diagnosis for him for ADHD and autism. And I think that helped me a little bit because obviously we're going through it for him. And then that meant that I was going, oh, that's me. That's me too. Okay, that's me. So I was able to recognize a lot of stuff when he was going through his process for myself. And to be honest, like we paid the money for him so that he had all the things in place for going through school, you know, having supports if he needed them and like whatever he needed, basically. And for me, I don't think it would change anything now because I've got a network of friends who mostly are neurodivergent anyway, people who get me for me, and I don't feel like I feel like I get to be myself as much as I need to be. So for me, I don't think going through paying the money, basically, because I don't, there would be too long through the NHS, or paying the money to go private. I don't see the point because I kind of know who I am and other people kind of get me. And like you kind of introduced me at the beginning, Nicky, you were like, yeah, Ryan's ADHD as well. So, you know, like anybody who knows me knows. So it's not, I don't feel like I need the official diagnosis. It won't help me unless I was going for a completely different job or a different workflow or something like that. But where I am in the creative industries and the people I have around me, and I don't think it'll change anything for me because I kind of know who I am.
Do you think, like, you obviously went through something that made you seek a diagnosis? I did too, I had a breakdown. Do you think there's a catalyst for people then? Because obviously he hasn't got that. Thing.
I was just listening, and it was really difficult not to interrupt you, and I'm doing my best not to.
Feel free to. We interrupt each other.
It's part of my learning process now is to recognise where I want to go in, and not do it to be more sociably acceptable. Mm-hmm. Not that I care about being sociably acceptable. It can be classed as rude, etc. Something you're saying you don't want to give a diagnosis, fine. The reason I have is I have to correct history. I've got nearly 70 years of history that my family have about me, which is incorrect. It's like playing rugby. I've been playing union. Everyone else has been playing league. And it's something I have to do. I have to make before I die. And it's very much this for me, that I have to correct the injustice which has been laid out to me. Mm-hmm. For 60 years, that they were wrong. And the reason they were wrong is because the information wasn't there. Now, my big problem, which I think I've kind of not going to do, is trying to educate people who will not be educated. It is a pointless. It's like throwing petrol on a fire. Just leave it alone. Mm-hmm. But having said that, one thing, I was talking to my GP, who's wonderful. She's on board with all this. And I've said, I want this put into my notes. I wanted to correct what has been put in my notes. And I have taken all my notes from birth. I've gone through them. And it's screaming that was something not right. And they couldn't say what was wrong. But that's easy when you've got all the jigsaw pieces. And
mm-hmm.
No, I hear you. I have obviously thought about it. But again, I just kind of assess up what it would change for me at this point.
Yeah, I guess if your family are accepting anyway, then you're not doing it for that reason, or you wouldn't need to do it for that reason.
Because the only reason I would do it was so that other people would understand how to approach me, rather than me, because I'm not going to approach the world any differently. Like I'm going to go through it as myself. So it's more for other people to understand, but the people I have around me at the moment understand who I am. So
lucky. Yeah.
I'm very lucky. Exactly. You're right. I'm very lucky.
And I will interrupt. The biggest problem that I have as a geriatric late diagnosed individual of ADHD is very much the history that people of my generation, my family, the people I know, don't accept this. Mm-hmm. They are going through the media bit of this is a fad. We had this in the 70s with dyslexia. every actor and actress was coming on board saying they're dyslexic, and people go, what a load of nonsense. Well, now we know that people who are on the spectrum will go to the arts. This is not unusual. Surprisingly, they're left-handed. I'm not, by the way. They're left-handed. And disproportionately in the arts, and artists are left-handed. And this all comes under, and I was trying to explain, and the difficult one, when you have a partner who still really does not accept what she's had to live with for over 40 years, and it's been hell. Well, let's not quote it. Financially incontinent. That's the only word I can use for myself. Not irresponsible. I mean, that would take some responsibility, being irresponsible. I wasn't even responsible enough to be irresponsible. I was just incontinent, and always have been and always will be. And it is very much, as one person on a podcast said, he decided he was going to upgrade his hi-fi CD music system. And he ordered everything else, 3 o'clock in the morning. I recognise that one. It all came 2 days later, and 3 weeks later, he hadn't unpacked a single thing, and then missed the date to send it all back. Well, look at my bedroom. I've got stuff there which is not there. The beauty of this podcast I'm on just now, which I didn't know I was going to be on, and other ones that I have listened to, is it resonates with me. I hear and see people in some awful state of burnout, just dreadful state of burnout, and they're alone. And where I would write things down in a journal, which I find very cathartic, the modern is using this medium, and it's still writing it down with no one looking at you, but you're able to send it out, as I can give my writings to other people, not that I would. And it helps that individual so much, and unfortunately they don't realise how much help simply by saying that they have given to strangers they don't know.
Yeah, that's why Lorna wanted this to be done, is because I feel like, especially with men, it's still so like under talked about, and people don't understand it. And yeah, I mean, it's bad with women, obviously, but I feel like because it's so bad with women, that's starting to become more prevalent.
It's always been the same, though. I cannot say, oh, as a male, I'll get jumped on. I came from the generation of women's lib, which I'll not even go down that minefield, okay? It is very much so. I was watching a program about death and a funeral, not morbid, and I kind of noticed that every single male in this had his arm round the applicable female or child. There was no one putting an arm round any of the men, and that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Now that's a place in a cemetery when someone's died. They know. Surely that's when emotions should be free to express, but yet they're not.
Yeah.
And that is very much like ADHD, and I have found this all the time. I do think that women have had a difficult in diagnosis, not just because they can mask very much, but in my generation, you got married. She was ditzy, silly, blonde, and everything else, but that was kind of part of the charm. Part of the society that was wonderful. But if you said the same thing about a guy, it would be feckless, lazy, whatever you want. But exactly the same thing. And that still today carries on and will always carry on. That is never going to change. All it's to do is try to educate the people who don't want to be educated, and that's the truth. The one person called them muggles, and I thought that was rather apt. I'd like to think myself I am not a muggle.
Yeah.
But the muggles out there, and I make no apologies for saying that, don't want to know about the so-called magic of being ADHD, which I would get rid of it tomorrow. I had a button here, get rid of ADHD. I don't want it. It's given me too much heartache. And a blurb now.
That's so interesting, because there's two sets of people. There is, like, I'm on LinkedIn, and obviously on there, you get all the people who, you know, I've got ADHD and I'm doing this, this, and this, and I'm so successful and it's a positive and it's a blessing. And I always feel like that's belittling all the people that it's never been that for me. I mean, obviously I can hyperfocus and obviously I can achieve things because I'm very driven, but at what cost? What cost does that come to me personally? And I don't think people understand that when they're ranting about it and saying how amazing it is. I feel like, yes, it is. Yes, it's got that side, but look at the
How long
side.
to recover from all of your achievement? You know, there's
Yeah.
Well, if you take ADHD as Harry Potter, and I've just thought about this, then Voldemort is ADHD. You're in that world and you have to deal with Voldemort. You have no choice. You don't want to. He's just always there. He never, ever goes away. Even when you think you've vanquished him, he hasn't. He's there with other traits. And Voldemort is death. Let's make quite clear that the high death rate with people with ADHD. I have been down that road. And it's a dark, dark road. And it's something that people who go on and saying, I have ADHD, I am dyslexic, I have done this, that, well, you know something? Congratulations, well done. That's not me.
It's not a lot of people, to be fair. It's like a lot of people are completely failing with ADHD.
It's almost boasting. It's boasting to the detriment of people who have ADHD, and I don't like it. I have done this. I have ADHD. Well, brilliant. It doesn't mean because you have ADHD that you have a higher IQ or you can and cannot do things. It's just part of this. Someone said to me, if you want to know about ADHD, it's about having Mr. Kipling's Factory one side, and you have the what's a cooking program that has the tent?
Oh, Bake Off.
Bake Off on the other side. They're all making a Victoria sponge. You expect that Mr. Kipling to be exactly the same week in, week out. You gave the same ingredients to people in the baking tent. You will have, if there's 10 there, 10 different cakes. None of them are ever the same. And if you repeat that same thing next week, you will have 10 more which are different. That is ADHD.
And so the factory is the norm.
Factories, your muggles. They just churn out the same thing all the time. Remember, the churning out is the rock. You gather your moss of experience and knowledge and everything else on top of it. But ADHD rocks are always different. We start off small, gnarled, bigger. It's just different.
And like, is your partner a muggle then?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Whole family are.
Right. And
my mother-in-law's not a muggle. She's a witch. I can safely say that. Yeah, absolutely. She is an absolute witch. Well, you get on well.
You get on well.
Never. I never will. But yes, you want to know about living with ADHD. Well, let's just go down to relationships.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? For me, that's been it. Yeah.
And I'll also throw something else in here. After 40 years, I've never been in love. I met someone for the first time that gave me confidence.
Your current partner?
My current partner.
Right.
I've only had the one.
Right, okay.
For 40 odd years.
Wow.
And it's for her, it's been absolute hell.
Right.
And you're asking about ADHD, what's it's done? It could have absolutely derailed our relationship.
And why do you think it hasn't then?
I don't think it has.
Right, okay.
We're now in the process of, I have shut down so much. Carl Jung's book, the Shadow Works, I'd recommend anyone to read that, but don't read it. You don't want to go down a rabbit hole which you can never come back from. It is such a wonderful book, and it's so terrible at the same time. It opens up your mind and shows you things that you never thought.
That's the cave, right? Where you think you're looking at like something, but it's a shadow of what's actually happening.
No, that going kind of into the early philosophy. Basically, Carl Jung was saying that to know yourself, you have to get the demons. You have to go into You have to go into Hogwarts, and you have to find Voldemort. You have to do battle with Voldemort, and you have to win. To hide from Voldemort is doing you no good, because he is there. He will always get you. You have to go out and seek him.
So you can't repress parts of yourself.
No, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to shine the light in all the corners.
Yeah.
And to do that, you really have to section out things which are not helping you, which basically means I have isolated myself from friends, which I don't have any, so that wasn't difficult. Family, which has been really difficult. And stop putting masks on and stop being a yes person for everyone in your life, which I always have been. I've been a people pleaser. And to stop that and start saying no, people don't like. Carl Jung would put it me, people will say you've changed. And I have changed. And I can't change back now. So people think there's something wrong with me.
Now, when really 60 years has been something wrong with
There's
you.
been something wrong with all this, but they've got used to it. And I've been chemically koshed, which I stopped in January, whether that be from what I got from the doctors, which is citalopram, or THC. Don't get me down that, which I think has been wonderful for me, fantastic. So next question, have you got any?
Take it away, Ryan.
Carl Jung, I know a little bit about him. Obviously he died like 60s or something. Was it 60? Early 60s anyway.
62.
And I wonder what he would have thought of the world now, because obviously we're talking, like, another 60 years have passed more. How he would have changed his series, if he would have said something different, if he had any, now that if he had the information we've got now, looking back, would he write the same way that he wrote?
Hopefully, yes, because he'd be able to put a name on ADHD. If you read the shadow work, I don't have the book with me. It's a very good one. You can get it on Amazon. It's not by Carl Jung. Someone has taken his work and kind of modernized it, made it readable for everyone. And you have a look at that. What I can take from it, and people take anything they want from literature, is ADHD. They're taking me. I can understand. And Carl Jung was the first one really to go down this route. And he had massive challenges himself. He had burnout. He isolated himself for 3 years from Freud because they had a huge argument, huge difference. And he had to reevaluate what he thought from his teacher to who he was. And he had to take that, and it cost him. It cost him the lifelong friendship of his mentor, and they never got back together again. But yet he carried on through, and really what he's talking about is mirroring himself.
Yeah.
If I could change, then would I go back to where I was? I don't know if I can answer that.
I know, isn't it hard? But then look how detrimental it's been, because it was for me. It was super detrimental.
When you're banging your head against the wall, that's one thing. When you start banging your head, your body and everything else, or get something else, it's different.
Yeah.
It hasn't eased anything. It just things made more complicated.
You're very, forgive me, I'm not trying to say that, because you're very newly diagnosed. I was obviously, I'm 54 now and I got diagnosed when I was 47. So I'm in a very, very different place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. It's very difficult. You can't come back from Alice in Wonderland.
No, you can't. You go down that rabbit hole and that's
This is not Narnia.
Yeah.
Life would be a lot easier if it was like that, but this is weird Alice down the rabbit hole, and it is really difficult. And I'm struggling so more than I've struggled any time in my life.
Yeah.
Trying to navigate, it's not me now, it's others. And I'm trying to educate people who won't listen, because if they do listen, they're not being blamed for the past comments. They're not being blamed for past actions, because they can't be, and it's pointless doing so. But they will then have to take on responsibility for what they've said and what they've done.
Yes.
And they don't want to. And this is what you're battling against.
Yeah.
Absolute prejudice.
It's funny. I had one of my really, really good friends, Demi. We did a podcast. There's three podcasts we did about her getting diagnosed, about her life before she got diagnosed, getting diagnosed, and then after. And she's encountered. It was only during lockdown, she got diagnosed as well. But she encountered that it wasn't necessarily about her. She did think that getting diagnosed meant somebody was going to give her tablets and she was going to get better. She did think that. She didn't realize at the time that that's just the beginning of the journey, that diagnosis. It's when everything starts. And it's been the same for her. It's been other people trying to accept the new version of her, the changed version of her. And that's the bit she struggled with most.
It's finding out, you use the word new, and words are so important, particularly people with ADHD and you like me, who uses the wrong words but also interprets it, so people, what words are fed to them have far more meaning than they actually have. It's I am so grateful that now that children and grandchildren now have the opportunity to be diagnosed, even though there's a 3-year waiting list at the present moment, I believe, in Scotland, and the figures are quite horrendous.
Yeah, I know. They've cancelled it altogether in England.
I have actually put, even though I've got a wonderful report that says everything, I've put my name on the NHS waiting list for one reason: I wanted to get top heavy. Down in England, they have the right to choose.
Yeah.
I can go to my GP, as you well know, go to the GP and say, no, we can't cope with it. It's like having a hip operation. We can't do it, but we can outsource you to a private one.
Yeah.
That's a double-edged sword. Because one, down south, there are so many companies now which are in it for the money, who will take people on purely for financial, and they're not giving proper reports.
Yeah.
They're scant 20 minutes reports, and you've got this. My one from ADHD Scotland with Dr. Emma Field, I had talked to her face to face for 4 and a bit hours on the phone. The report that I got goes to 17 pages.
Yeah.
It's a full report. And it says also I've got mother issues. That's beside the point. Don't we all?
So obviously you've got this diagnosis. You're now dealing with the aftermath. Is there any sign of relief? Because you say it sounds like you're on the road now where you can start to organize things and figure out a journey for yourself, a pathway for yourself.
Depends when you ask me. Sorry, if you ask me in the morning when I get up, no, everything is just hellish. Through the day, shouting at myself, talking to myself, walking around the house, ranting, trying to figure things out, brain going everywhere. Then you get a calm bit. Then I think possibly, yes, maybe reading, studying is a great distraction for me. A practical one on ADHD and philosophy and other things. I find that a distraction. I think, well, yeah, maybe yes, and I always go back to Carl Jung because I find him and his writings very calming, it's almost like having a friend when you're reading. I'm able to understand, and 100 years ago he wrote this.
Yeah.
And you're kind of thinking, well, this is nothing new. I'm nothing new. All I have done is all my life has been isolated, and I have isolated all my life. I don't ask for help. I know I'm going off on a tangent. And this is another thing ADHD people are... No, I have never asked for help. I can't. Whether that's ADHD or whether it's childhood trauma, which I had enough of, it's a difficult one. Where I'm at the present moment, I can handle ADHD. I can't handle burnout. The going down the rabbit hole with finding this out, with other trauma which comes along with, is the moss on the stone. I'm trying to understand the moss, which goes in different fragments, and it's not just one lump, it spreads out all over it. But I've still got the rock. The rock of ADHD I can handle. I can understand that. But it's the peripheral stuff. It's the family, if not understanding. It's I loathe Christmas. I hate, and it's too strong a word, I know, I absolutely detest my birthday. I'll do anything to avoid Christmas, and I'll do anything to avoid meeting people now. I had masks, I was able to do it. I was a medic for 20 odd years. I can cope with buses and trains and bodies and everything else around about it. That's my medium. I can do that. I'm happy with that. I can cope with all that. It's not even afterwards. But if I have a birthday coming up or a Christmas coming, which I'm already starting to freak out about, too strong a word, I'm starting to get concerned about, that is going to build up and build up and build up to a point where I will freak. And it's just Christmas. I'm not even religious.
It's clearly not just Christmas, though, is it?
No.
Not for you.
No, it's not. And the same with my birthday. I mean, I do try. I just, those are the things that and again, it's not so much that was part of ADHD, but it's people's perception of why don't I want to join the family? Why do I think my mother-in-law's an absolute witch? Well, that's nothing to do with ADHD. She just is. It's people perception of why I won't join in. Why am I always the one that when there's a party going on, you'll find me down the garden? People never understand that. He's strange. Like me, but I'm strange. I think it's the one that's followed me all my life.
Yeah.
You're among your people here, though.
Yeah, you are.
Finding your clan would be a wonderful thing. And I've never found someone. I'm going back to marrying a muggle. The problems that muggles have is us.
Yeah.
They should marry another muggle. Life's a lot easier.
I feel like it's because we hold a mirror up to them, though, as well, and we're reflective, because we, like, when we don't mask and we live authentically, we have looked at those demons, we've looked at Voldemort, and so we live authentically. I do now, and I find people don't like that. They don't like the truth. They don't like you living authentically, because it makes a mockery of everything that they've built, their existence, which they know isn't real, but they can't acknowledge that, so then it makes a mockery of that.
Well, it also, when you kind of open your mouth and say things after 40 years, I've just been thinking about this and I don't think I've ever loved you. It's not really the best thing to say to someone.
But it's the truth.
But that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's, and I not use that expression the Americans use, this is my truth, because that just really annoys me. It's what I believe. And it doesn't mean, and it's just a word, it doesn't mean that I don't care. It just means it makes sense to me. Because I've never understood this 4-letter word, which I think is horrible, LOVE. But I do understand the, I want to say it's not limerence. It is limerence, isn't it? Limerence, where you have the fascination for one individual to a point it almost becomes obsession.
That's a very ADHD thing, though, and an autistic thing. That
that's what I saw.
It's all hard. I've always found it in my life anyway, is chasing. I always feel like I'm chasing people. Like, and there's never a queue of people at my door going, "Hey Ryan, are you coming out? Are you doing this?" It's always
people
me
never put in the
chasing.
effort that you put in.
I always feel like I'm chasing people, like, all the time. Like, "Hi, how are you? Do you want to meet up?" Like, all the time. No one is ever the one to instigate a meeting with me. Well, Nicky is the one exception. I think there's a couple, but my wife, obviously. But like, historically, throughout my relationships with people, my friendships, I've always done the chasing. And then when I stopped, that friendship seems to end, or it doesn't end. It just doesn't continue in the way that I expect it to. So I don't know if there's a detachment as well. We keep people at arm's length.
Fear.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's fright. It's fear of rejection. Then we come to RSD. I mean, it's that's what it is. You know, if you're invited somewhere, not I am invited somewhere that I have in the past, but I keep on thinking, why are they inviting me? Is it because, what is this, a pity? Why haven't they done beforehand? And so I've already built up. You know what's a lot easier? You just say no. Do you fancy going to that? No. Do you fancy doing it? No. It's so much easier saying no, but it has limit opportunities. I have on my gravestone, I think I'll have a Stuart date and everything else, and to sum my life up is missed opportunities. Now that's hard to live with. My life has been a plethora of missed opportunities, and that's difficult, really difficult to understand for me and to live with. And you want to know where I am? Try and understand all those missed opportunities that I've had because I was never diagnosed. Diagnosed is the wrong word. I've never been shown that the way I think is different to others. And not better, not worse, but I can do these things and I will have these thoughts. Not that they're wrong, that they're just incorrect for that one. But a lifetime of missed opportunities. And that's sad.
It is sad, but at the same time, it's never ever too late. Obviously, I just went and got a degree and I was like 47. As soon as I got my diagnosis, that like literally enabled all the help I need. I'm also dyslexic and I've got OCD and all sorts of other comorbidities. And that then enabled me to, and that whole experience of getting a degree it wasn't just about getting the degree for me. It was about the experience of the fact that I didn't ever think I was even capable of that, because obviously at school I was told I wasn't. And then I'm doing a master's now, and it's all because accepting yourself for who you are and then going on that journey of, okay, I might be older than everybody else here, but I can still do it.
Yeah, but you're 30 years my junior. I don't have those years. I'm now coming to the end chapter.
Well, yeah. Hello, 15.
But I am practically, I'm coming to the end chapter. I'm not in the middle. I'm at the end. Those opportunities are really not open. They're open to everyone, but practically they're not. I have to deal with the practicalities of trying to get relationships onto an understanding which they've never been on this footing at all. And it's not even it's a brand new plinth. I have to start off with, and it's not easy. I'd love to do studying and doing that, and that's something I certainly will think about, but it's not practical.
My uncle is 87 and is at the University of the Third Age.
So am I.
Yeah, and he absolutely is having a ball. He's like loving every second of it.
I'm not. I'll tell you what. Well, I have. I've been to one walk, I've been to one talk, and it's the same thing. I don't feel part of it.
Yeah.
I have not met my clan.
Yeah.
And this is the reason that the University of the Third Age is a wonderful thing. And it's full of wonderful people. And I'm quite sure there's neurodiverse, but there's so many muggles there. I just cannot connect with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is the connection that...
I feel like you need to come along to one of the online groups that the ADHD group run, because most people go to that the first time and they're very quiet and they just watch everybody. And then all of a sudden they realise it's full of neurodivergent people and not muggles. And it's like... it's like this revolutionary, like, it's online as well, so it's not even like intense.
Hang out at Creative Sterling is
yeah, go and hang out with Ryan at Creative Sterling. You'll feel like you've met your people there as well, because they're all new.
You won't want to leave. You'll just be like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
I didn't realise this was kind of me taking over this whole podcast, which I've never ever been on.
It's all about you.
Right, now you tell me. Yeah. Anyway, next question.
Well, what do you want to say? This is all about you. Like, I mean, my questions, you've answered every single one of them. The only one I've really got left is, what would you say to somebody that's undiagnosed?
I honestly don't know. I would not give them any advice. Only because, go back to philosophy, they have already made that decision. They just haven't come to accept what the decision is.
Because there's consequences and they don't know what the consequences are.
People saying, I don't know what to do. You do know what to do. You just haven't. Who is it? Epictetus said that the problem's not the problem is your attitude towards the problem.
Right.
And that's it. The problem's not a problem. It's how you react to that problem that makes it a problem. Yeah. So on that one, people who do not wish to get diagnosed, don't. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean it's written in stone. You've got a mind, and what minds can do is change. And if you do get diagnosed, we were just talking when, I think, off air, I don't know if it was recorded or not, would I do it again? And you're quite rightly, it's so new at the present moment. But that doesn't invalidate what I'm going to say is, I don't know. Honestly, if I was able to rewind the clock. I loved having a clear brain. I'm not medicated. and I'm not taking THC. Again, I think it's very good indeed, but I haven't. And I've done this the hard way. That's not typical ADHDs. Never take the easy route, always complicated. I was told by someone behind me, stop complicating things. But something was just so simple. Why do I want to put arms and legs onto something?
I feel like because our brains, they need a challenge, don't they? We need to be busy. And I feel like maybe the simple route, it just feels too simple. So if we overcomplicate it.
I used to be on a forum where they made games consoles, and they had decided how it would be built, and then they would send kits out and everyone could try and build them themselves. And they sent all the bits out, and I was like, yeah, but I don't want the battery there, and I don't want this here, and I don't want that there. I'm going to change this design. Even though it's tried and tested, it was sent out to be a kit that could be put together quite easily. And then I was like, I think I want to change this, and I want to change that. And then suddenly it's not even the same thing anymore. And that's one example of any situation in my life where somebody goes, right, go and do this. And I'm like, cool. But on the way, I want to improve that process or change it to make it work better for me. And then they end up going, well, that's not what we asked you to do. Like, could you just do the thing we asked you to do? And I'm like, well, now I've done this.
Right
on in this.
Possible, yeah.
Exactly. So I think coming to terms with the fact that we are going to go on tangents. We're going to buy things at 3 a.m. We're going to...
It's like Christmas in my house because I never remember buying it. Like my memory's so bad, I don't remember buying it. And then like a couple of days later, a parcel will rock up and I'll be like, oh, somebody's bought me a present. Oh, damn, no, that was me. And I don't have the money for that.
I was listening to a podcast. And they said, though people on the spectrum are so good at buying useless things at 3 o'clock in the morning, she turned round and used it to save money. And I thought about this for a while, and I haven't been buying the carryouts, which I would normally do because I just fancy a carryout. And then when you get it, you think, well, why the hell did I buy that? 30 odd quid. And I haven't been going online buying the stuff because the Amazon guy hasn't been coming to my door every single day or every second day. I haven't been doing that. And I have been saving money. And in that itself has given me, which I now know is the dopamine rush of opening, okay, whew, that's my current account. I've never had that sort of money in my account. And which instantly means I go into Amazon and I want to buy a headset and I want to buy this and I want to buy that. And I go and I do everything and I have the whole thing ready to go send. But I don't.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at now. My wife is a sensible, not buy things on a whim thing. She controls my indecisive,
Money.
really. Yeah. No, she controls my impulsivity is what she controls, because she makes me think an extra step there where usually I wouldn't. I would just be like, I'll get this and I'll worry about it later. But now, because I've got a family and kids and it is a shared pot. The money is a shared pot. So I do have this extra thought process where I'm like, what will Paula say if I press send on this? And I've currently got a Very account, which has got a stupid amount of credit on it, which is dangerous. And I've not got any credit on it at the moment, but I am sitting going, I do want a new camera. I'm going to get some stuff for my kids for Christmas. We need a new oven. And so there's like £1,500 worth of stuff in the basket ready to go. And normally before I would have just gone, yeah, I'll just get it and we'll worry about it later. Whereas now it's still sitting in the basket because I've shared what was in the basket with Paula, and she's like, do we really need that? Can we make this work? Can we do that? And she helps me with the extra step of just taking out that impulsive urge that I've got, which I'll always have.
You mean you don't get from the kitchen when the bank balance is opened up and you go, oh God, I knew this was coming. I knew it was coming.
It still happens from time to time, but I'm a lot better at it now. And I think it's just that, well, you're saying the same, that you've got actual money in your account now.
I'm 67. Okay, I just started doing this the past 6 odd weeks.
I'm 54 and I haven't started doing it yet.
and and again, for muggles, taking the laughter out of this, for living with someone, and the muggles can't cope with this. They don't understand it. It's security for children. It's paying the bills. It's paying the mortgage. All these things which I completely and utterly ignore. Fiscally incontinent. It doesn't register. I have to get it, and I have to get it now. It's not I just need it. I have to have it. It's an inbuilt growl which I have to quieten down, and I can do it by going, nowadays, press. And certainly before, I was able to write a check out. You only used to get £25 and it was £50. And you'd have to send that. But there was a gap.
Yeah.
Now there's not. It's instant gratification. And it's instant problems. And you know you've done it. And you feel good for about 30 seconds. And then that dread comes. The dread in the morning. God, did I really do that? That's if you remember you've done it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's that dread of coming, and it affects your relationship. And you know the bank statement's coming in. And I don't know how many times I've heard the dishes slam down on the thing when my wife's opened the door and gone, Jesus, not again. And you kind of go, and you just cringe, and you think, I can wave. It's not funny. For muggles, that's why the divorce rate, the separation rate, the unhappiness rate, and there's only so much they can take. And my partner's had 40 years of this. And I think now we're going through it. I know it's just 6 months. It's not just me. I've just thought about this. So excuse me. It's not me who's had a sudden revelation of, oh, this is the reason why. It's your partner.
Yeah.
And I do not, they can't get into my mind, and you can't get into a muggle's mind. I can't even vision of the dislike she must have of me at times. At the end of the month when there's no money, and I go, oh, don't worry, it'll be fine. How? Because it was fine the past 3 years. We've always managed somehow. So, I mean, I don't know why you're getting so upset about it. There's only so many times they can be upset until they say enough.
Yeah.
And you know something? They're absolutely right.
The on-demand world we live in at the moment is super dangerous, though, because I want a Lego Game Boy, which is like £55. So that's more manageable. But there's also now a new Lego USS Enterprise that's just come out, and it's close to £500. And I'm like, that's not quite absorbable in a monthly outgoing. So even just like every advert I see on social media, everything, I'm like, oh, I want one of them. Oh, I want one of them.
Again, who are you going to blame for this? Are you going to blame society or the individual? Now, you can take the wild and saying society has to play bottoms. You cannot keep on playing other people for something which is in your control. The people put opportunities in front of you, and it's up to the individual whether they take it or not. I've taken too many opportunities, and I've missed too many things. I have to take that, and it's me. It's no one else. It's not ADHD.
There's got to be a bit of a devil's advocate there, though, because if you put a bunch of drugs in front of a drug addict, they're going to take it. Is that the drug addict's fault? Or is there something going on in their brain that is making them take the drugs? I'm not using excuses. I don't say that a lot of my behaviour in relationships has been good. It has not. And I own that and I accept that. I take responsibility for that. But I have something in my brain that makes me think differently. And if advertisers, especially and stuff, are targeting people that are susceptible to those things, you can't necessarily just blame yourself.
When drug addicts know they're a drug addict, it is their choice whether they take it or not. If a drug addict doesn't realise, or someone has ADHD and does not realise that they don't have that information to be able to process, then I'd say, you have a point. But once you know...
But then what are you going to do about it? You can't just then say, you can't just say I didn't.
The knowing doesn't go away.
No, it doesn't go away.
But you can reduce it. You can't stop it. No. But you have the responsibility to slow it down.
I agree. Yes.
And I think that's where the pat on the back, I'll be right, that would be. And once you've done it once, that means you can do it again.
Does it though? I mean, my biggest failure in life, I always felt, is inconsistency. I feel like I've been brilliant and like doing something for like 6 weeks, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's it now.
Yeah,
That's that done.
I'm not,
New hobby, yeah.
I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm saying I'm saying people should do it. I'm not.
All the other ADHD people.
Everyone else should be doing it. And leave me alone.
Wow. I mean, my final
All too
question.
real.
Have you got any more questions, Ryan? Because I've got a final question if you don't.
Well, I'm just having a look at the things we were trying to get out of this.
Before we went off on it.
Before we just, it's been useful either way, right?
Yeah.
So the stuff at the end of this, the looking forward things, is that the question you're going to ask? What do you want people with ADHD to understand? Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, that, like, if you could talk to all those people you keep, all the muggles and everybody in your family.
Education.
In what sense? How do you, like, because you've already said they don't want to know and they're not open to it. How do you...
Then don't.
So how do we educate
You can only
people?
push a door which is unlocked. You can open the door and push it open. If it's locked, don't waste your time. It's not worth it. Whether that's family or friends or whoever it is, closest, nearest and dearest, if they won't listen, they're not going to. They'll maybe see by example that I think you made a really valid point there, whereby you're saying is I can't precisely what you're saying is that they have their own demons. I paraphrase.
Yeah.
They have their own demons to process, so you can't process them for them.
Yeah.
All you can do is, for instance, when I got my report, the reason I got my report is I could see members of my family, grandchildren and children, that I believe have it. And they went, no, they haven't. All I can do is show them the report about me. I've given that information. I've also, yeah, and I also have told them that's hereditary. Mm-hmm. Now, if they want to take it, but one thing I can say is I've given that information. Mm-hmm. What they do with it
is up to them.
Is up to them.
Yeah.
So if you want to go and get diagnosed, then first of all, read Carl Jung, The Shadow. Mm-hmm. Do your diligence before you go, and it's not a magic pill. Mm-hmm. They listen to you, they study you, they ask you questions because you cannot diagnose it. Mm-hmm. So the more information you can give them, get a jotter, write it down, things I like, things I don't like, things I do, things I don't do, things that make me happy, things that make me unhappy. That's an easy one to do. Things that make you happy are difficult to fill in. Mm-hmm. Things that make you, then write it down, hand it to them before you go and see them so they can see and they can read and everything else. So by the time you come in front of them, they have an idea of who you are, because you are a different cake from the ones in the other bake tents.
Yeah, totally. So final question, unless Ryan's got one. Have you got anything? No?
No, just the usual stuff that we always talk about. Like a lot of our journeys and discussions are about finding yourself. So touching on what's said there about knowing yourself and knowing what you like and what you don't like. And we work with young people creating storyline, and one of my questions all the time is what brings you passion? What lights that fire inside you? And that's the thing you should chase. And Japan are doing that now. There's no standardized tests in Japan. Norway are doing it. There's no standardized tests in Norway anymore. They do what makes you happy. Find your joy. Our country's not there yet. We're not doing that. We're testing people and still trying to push them into stuff that they're not interested in. And it feels like we need more finding the joy. And what you said there, where it's hard to write a list of all the things that you love, easy to do the other side with the things that bring you pain or you don't like, or the things you dislike. So more of a statement than a question is we should all look more at finding our joy and looking into those things that stoke that fire inside us. And if we can all do that, then hopefully we can find a bit of happiness.
Yeah,
maybe. Okay, so my question off the back of that was just going to be, what is your hope for the future?
For myself?
Yes.
Or society?
You. And I mean, you can roll that out to society if you want. Obviously, I feel like that's more understanding from them, but I don't know how that happens.
I would say about education, our education is built in two levels. One, the workers, and one's the people who own. That's not changed. Our country has never been invaded, never had to, like France, never had a republic, never started from the scratch. We have built on which is already there. The people in charge and the people, our education is built so we don't ask too many questions and we're able to do the menial jobs. don't let them think. Don't let them have enough money to be independent. That's maybe being a bit too much in socialism, but Tony Benn is kind of a really nice guy. Even though his background was slightly dodgy.
Whose isn't?
And, well, yeah. For myself, now at my age, and it is age dependent, what I want now is to be able to sit down with my partner and to be able to communicate and to have comfortable silences. That's all I'm after. Is that too much to ask?
I feel like that's very achievable.
Sounds on the surface of it very simple.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
But I think the journey to get that is harder than the realization of it.
Well, because there's been 40 years of history there, right?
Yeah. Thanks for the encouragement, folk.
I think it'll be fine. I think you'll do it. I'm with you. I'm on your side.
Walked more of a lot of the path already. Like now you can look back and be like, yeah, that makes sense. This makes sense. And you're probably always doing that. Like you've got the brain that is like over analytical and always over analyzing stuff. So you've been doing it your whole life. Now you just have a different lens to do the same thing. So hopefully that journey will be easier now because you have more information to go forward.
I'm going to ask myself a question. How have I found today in this podcast? Well, seeing I didn't know I was coming into this podcast and I got absolutely ambushed, I would not have done it if I'd known. It would have been another missed opportunity, an opportunity which I think has been so positive. And I want to thank you both. And sometimes I think you have to be ambushed in life to be able to appreciate. So thank you both.
Thank you very much. It's been amazing.
I feel like the irony there is that we didn't communicate enough and it opened an opportunity.
Well, to be fair, I was ambushed too because I just got it's all on his fault. I got told that this man wanted to talk about
So I'm the person in the middle. So
Lorna's the ambusher.
Okay, fair enough. We were all lied to.
But I love doing podcasts because my whole premise is talk about things and share your own experiences if you can to help other people. That is my whole goal in life.
I have just come to this realization. I'm saying to Lorna, who's a wonderful woman who's behind me, who's helped me so much, was the first person in my life that said that, yeah, I think you are ADHD.
Oh, me too, when I was 22 years ago. Honestly,
And how many boxes of tissues did I go through?
It's the one.
And so she's done so much. And you're right about finding your clan. And as for the podcast, I am now, I'm on board. And I never thought I would be.
Excellent. Well, we're both here all the time if you ever want to do another one or you think of anything else you want to say.
If you want to review in a few weeks or a few months' time.
If this goes out, I will try to listen to it without cringing. And I'll tell you afterwards.
That's a skill you have to learn as well, isn't it, Ryan? We have to do that as well. Not cringe at your own voice.
Yeah, if there's anything you ever need to learn, it's like you hate the sound of your own voice. Everybody does.
Yeah.
Now it sounds, or it was going out.
Because it sounds different in your head than when you externalize it. Yeah.
But I do have a face for radio, though. That's one thing.
Snap. And I like being able to edit things. Thanks, Ryan.
No, thank you. And I hope your journey gets more positive just every day.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
This podcast was created by Nicola Foley and hosted on Buzzsprout, with music from Pixabay. Thanks to Ryan, my co-host today, and to Stuart for sharing his incredible and very personal journey. I really appreciate you spending your time here, and I hope you'll join me next time.